As you start to develop these collaborative CSCS lessons or import CSCS lessons that others have made, it's really important to start organizing your files. We've been focusing primarily on spreadsheets and the forms associated with them marked in green on this view of my Google Drive. However, we can start to incorporate other types of files as well. The blue indicate word processing documents, the red photos, and as you scroll through you'll see yellow ones which are presentations, and then there's other red ones with movies and then drawings and so forth. And it gets pretty confusing when you look at this. There's just so many files. How do you actually find anything? Well, most people just resort to searching up here when they search for something like, let's say we were looking for something on Faraday's candle. All right, so they might say, well, I remember the term candle was in it. And sure enough, they will find all the ones that mention candle, but still it's pretty daunting when you look at that to try to figure out which is which as your list grows. So we suggest that you organize things in directories and folders, just the way you would on your PC or your Mac. So to understand the organization of Google Drive, we want to look over here on the left side. And if we click on My Drive is the portion which allows us to put things in folders and subfolders and to color things and basically provide an extra layer of organization. So all of the resources in the various CSCS activities that are posted on this website are in one single folder here called CSCS. Now if I open that folder up, you can see that there are many subfolders in this. So I'm just going to click on this folder just like I would if I was looking at the directory on my Mac or PC. And now I can see the individual subfolders in this. Now, one of the advantages of organizing it this way is you can grant privileges for an entire folder or subfolder. So, for example, to make sure that everybody who has access to these resources can edit, can view it, I'm simply going to choose the super folder, the CSCS, click on this, and I'm going to go to sharing and set my sharing parameters such that anyone here who has the link or anyone on the web can view it. Now you don't want to set it to edit because anybody could come and corrupt your files. But if I save it at this point, anybody can now view it, then all of the files subsumed in that folder will have those same privileges. Now that's a huge time savings to be able to go and to set things up there. And now you can individually set documents for editing privileges if you want them to be data sheets and people to enter them directly. So for example, let's say I go into the physics folder here and I want to change the motion analysis reports here. If I click on this individually and look under sharing, you can see that under sharing, anyone on the internet can view it. That's inherited. But these individuals right here are given editing privileges. And I could change this entire thing to say, you know what, I want to make it simple. I'm going to say anyone with the link can also edit. All right, which means that if they had that link, they could go then and edit the resources and so forth inside there. So again, the value of putting things in folders is so that you can organize and grant permissions in a logical and easy fashion. Now, again, if we look back at My Drive over here on the left, you can see that here's my CSCS folder. I'll open that once again so you can see it's here. Or if I click on it, all the contents is going to show up here. Now, it might be nice to color code things. So, for example, the chemistry, the general, the chemistry, the biology, the physics, and the earth science. These are the ones that correspond to the different domains that we have CSCS lessons developed for. So if I go to More and say, you know what, I'd like to change the color of those to green, then when I do so, all of those files there, now those folders appear green, and over here I can see, oh yeah, when I look at this, these are all the ones that are going to be associated specifically with the CSCS lessons. The other ones are related to the CSCS activities in some fashion, but not at the same level. Again, the idea is that I can go through and now see more easily which resources are associated with the same topic. So let's say I opened a particular folder like this, and I wanted to organize things within this folder. So let's say I wanted to create a resource here just for the presentations. So you can see there's 3 different presentations and so forth there. Well, there's a folder icon here, and I can click on this and call it presentations. I'll say create and share. And now presentations becomes a subfolder underneath chemistry. And I can move these files right here directly into presentation. So I just sit there and drag them up, and just as you would, they would have on a PC, they'd be moved over there. Now note here it says other users will no longer see these items in CSCS chemistry. So if they were looking, if you'd shared the folder, they won't see them in chemistry, they would see them in presentations. I'm just going to cancel this at this point because there's no real need to make that. And what I can do though is I can delete that folder just as easily as I created it. If I click on it, you'll notice I can remove it just by trashing it. And now my activity has been undone. Sometimes you want to view things not as a list, but graphically. So if I click on this, I can see things pictorially as they are. This is going to be particularly helpful if you're looking into, put a number of photos up there, or made one of these albums as kind of a collaborative photo album, akin to Picasa Web or Google Plus Photos. And you can see everything arranged here. It also just gives you an easier idea to see what's going on in that. So in addition, you can sort icons in terms, or sort the files based upon editing time and title and so forth. So if we look back over on the left side here, there's a couple other features that are important to draw your attention to. Number one is shared with me. Now shared with me means ones that are created by other individuals that have been shared with me. And I might be an editor on them, but maybe not the owner of that particular document. Well, I can look at this and I can see, okay, Kevin Bugg, one of the co-authors of this project, he's an owner there, and then as I scroll through you can see these are all ones that have been shared with me, but I don't have the ownership privileges on those. And if you're looking for starred ones are ones that just basically you've put a star by, and you can turn that star off, and you'll notice as I turn the star off that list gets shorter. And that's just another way of marking files so that you can get more direct attention to them when you're looking through your directory. When you click at recent, the advantage for this is just to say, you know what, I just want to see the ones that have been worked on most recently so I can attend to the tasks that I've been working on most recently. Now, if you install the Google Drive software for your PC or for your Mac, and you can get that just online, just type in Google Drive and then software download. And that anything that you put in your Google Drive will be copied onto your desktop or onto your computer, and also anything you put into that drive will be uploaded into your Google Drive. We've been focusing on collaborative documents, in other words, just documents that that are designed for co-authoring. But you can upload any kind of file you want to. You can click on upload, and if you wanted to upload files of any kind. Let's say it was even a program file. You could search your hard drive and find them there and upload them. And they would behave just the same way they would if you put them into Dropbox or Box.net or Box.com or one of those other resources. When you click on the More and look under Trash, Trash will show you any files that you may have deleted. They're still there, okay? They're just in the trash folder. And of course, they're going to be there until you empty the trash. And so it's kind of a second level of security. So if you accidentally delete something, you can undelete it simply by selecting it and moving it into something. So let's say that I wanted to move this copy of Hurricanes that we'd worked with back into someplace where I could access it. You could right-click on it and restore from the trash, or you could delete it forever if you totally want to get rid of something. Now, when you click on the owner, type, and more, this allows you to view your entire Google Drive by type. So, for example, if I want to just look at my Google Drawings, I can see, there's my Google Drawings. If I knew the file happened to be a PDF, I can click on here, there's all my PDFs. If I knew that the file happened to have been a video, again, I could select on that and so forth. Or I can select by ones owned by me, not owned by me, private, public, and so forth. And so this is, again, another search engine to allow you, or search technique to allow you to find the files that you need to. Now, whenever you see a gear, as you see a gear up here, you have to look at that and say, what does that mean? Okay, or what options does that give that to me? And up here, this is setting the parameters for how we want things to be displayed. And so these are just 3 different displays that change, like, okay, just the way that the documents display on your screen. So comfortable, cozy, and compact just means ways of adjusting the real estate here. And so right now you can see that here I've just made it a little bit tighter because I like to have so many documents. I want to make sure that they're viewed under the compact, because then I can get more in the same space. When you click on settings, all right, settings will control things kind of in for the entire Google Drive. And you can also see, most importantly, your storage settings to see how you're doing. Now, if you're just making the collaborative documents, spreadsheets, and so forth, you will have a tremendous amount of space because the documents don't take up much space at all. But if you start uploading graphics and movies, that's what your space is taken up. So in this case, you can see I've used 5.2 gigabytes of 36. So I've used up a lot of space on this right here, just, you know, relative to the way that you're going to be using space, unless you start uploading big documents to your Google Drive. So the if we click back up here, now we can see the Google account that controls everything. And of course there you can make your settings for your entire Google account, not just your Google Drive. So hopefully that gives you some insight into how to manage your files within your Google Drive. And again, we suggest you organize things into folders and subfolders and try to keep things as logical as possible. Well, a couple final things about organization. When you're in a directory or a subdirectory, you can organize it by clicking on the little arrows at the top. So for example, if I wanted to arrange it by last date edited, I could say, okay, well, how about the last day modified? And you can see it's going to organize things in this particular folder sequentially based upon that. And again, these that's one way you can structure or rearrange things in a particular column. if I wanted to see where the big files were, I've just organized by quota, and I can see, oh wow, okay, that movie is indeed taking up substantially more space than these Google documents, which take up virtually nothing. So again, you can see if you're working with the Google Docs, you're going to have a tremendous amount of room to work with. When you look over here and you start to say your upload settings will be your default settings. You can override at any specific time for how you want to import your documents. So, for example, in this one, I have had some files in Excel that I've converted into the corresponding Google Doc format. And you notice right here that the first option says convert into the Google Docs format. If, however, I wanted to keep those in the original form, I would simply uncheck that. So the Google Drive is a very sophisticated way of managing a variety of documents, both the native Google Docs, which you can see over here in terms of creating the ones, these would be considered native Google Docs, either their documents, their presentations, spreadsheets, forms, drawings, lucid charts, and scripts, or documents that you've uploaded and kept in their native form from other applications, for example, Microsoft Office. So again, organize your directories or organize your files in as logical a fashion as possible, and just master all of the options here for finding, retrieving, and giving sharing permissions and so forth to them.